Hi guys, how's it going? Calvin Strawn here, creator of the Find a Way to Win programs and the Eruption Seminar. Today I want to talk to you about mental fitness. Now you may have heard of mental toughness or mental strength. My spin on this is mental fitness. And here's why I say that. It's very obvious when you're seeing physical fitness, right? You see someone who's like in shape, abs, and tight body, and they have this energy and this glow about them. Physical fitness is very obvious. Same with you have poor physical fitness. When someone's really overweight and heavy, you see them carrying a lot more mass than they really should be. Or they're huffing and puffing and sweating and those kind of signs of lack of physical fitness. Does that make sense? What's interesting though is, how is your mental fitness? Not your mental strength. I don't necessarily care about your strength. I care about your fitness. So let's go back to physical fitness for a second. You think about someone's in a mall and they're walking through the mall and they see the escalator and all of a sudden escalator goes down and their physical fitness isn't where it's supposed to be. What happens? This is major trauma, right? They gotta walk up this flight of stairs. It's heart palpitations, sweating, legs are burning, all because they're not physically fit. Well, the same analogy applies to mental fitness. What happens when you get bad info from your boss? Or what happens when you get bad news from the government for taxes? Or what happens when you lose your job? Or you have a death in the family, or a miscarriage, or a sudden illness in your body? How do you handle that? Or you lose business? Like, there's so many other scenarios where these things happen, and does it totally debilitate you? Shut you down? You can't think? Where you have this thing called emotional eating. You gotta have pizza and cookies and donuts and watch Grey's Anatomy at all ends. You know what I mean? So mental fitness is so important because how do you handle that flight of stairs going down mentally? Well, how does it show up in your world? So I started thinking, like, I used to be a trainer. So if you came to see me as a personal trainer, I'd say, okay, yeah, we'll do some squats, do the treadmill, boom, physical fitness, no problem. So what do you do for mental fitness? How do you improve that? Well, one quick way is this. You hear about gratitude journals all the time. Gratitude journals. So you every night write down what you're grateful for. And to me, it's always been sort of a corny practice. Okay, I'm grateful for breathing. I'm grateful for walking, right? It seems so corny. But what we're finding out though in positive psychology and neuroscience is every night, if you write down 3 things that you're grateful for, it starts to retrain your brain to look for the good in your world, right? Retrain your brain to look for the good in your world. Training your mental fitness. So instead of seeing that layoff as a bad thing, your mind will gradually start looking for what's good about this, what's great about this. Right, so the first thing is every night do a gratitude journal. 3 things that are good about that day. Fair enough? Okay, the second thing you can do is start to change your self-talk. Again, another corny practice I thought was just so corny. Like Dale Carnegie, Vincent Peale, and all these old guys saying, as you speak, so you become. It's like, oh yeah, I want a Lamborghini. I don't see it, right? I don't being kind of facetious here, but understand this. When I'm coaching my clients, I try to train them. Like, listen, you need to have your brain having an automatic response to things happening to you mentally. So let's say someone gives you really harsh criticism. The first thing you say to your mind is, it's not true. I'm better than this, right? Instantly. You want to get yourself saying that on a regular basis. Speak that which you wish to become. So when you feel that mental tension, out comes the good stuff. Okay? Understand? So it could be a layoff. New job is coming. It could be a breakup. Great. I'm going to find the perfect girl for me, or perfect man for me, right? You have a phrase or an automatic trigger that fires off when the tension happens. As you improve your self-talk, you'll improve yourself mentally. Does that make sense? So 2 things. Gratitude journal. Do it every night. 3 things you can do that felt good about your life. And the second thing is improve that self-talk. Do those 2 things and you'll find a way to win. See you on the next one. Take care.